So good evening, gentlemen. Myself Venu. I'm from the marketing team at SAP, and I welcome you all to this wonderful event, a joint event with SAP and Highbar, where we have leaders like you from the real estate and construction company. We have a terminology called EC&O for that. It stands for engineering, construction, and operations. You'll be seeing that a lot here. So I thought let me make that very clear so that there's no bit ambiguity on what are we talking about EC&O as such. Before even we start, sincere thanks to everybody here for making it to this evening. I understand it being a Friday evening, not the best idea to be sitting in a boardroom and getting bored to death by the PPTs. We'll ensure that we make this evening fun for you and also very informative, most importantly. As we get into this EC&O industry discussion, I'm sure you would not disagree with me if I say that the real estate and the construction companies are the fastest growing today. Okay, not just in India but globally. You know, infrastructure projects are booming everywhere. But you will also definitely agree with me if I say that this industry is the most competitive industry today. Right? There's a lot of competition both locally and globally. There is competition with your peers. There is competition with things beyond your control, like government policies, roadblocks, mafia, and whatnot, right? So this industry is experiencing a dynamic growth, at the same time having a tough competition. In such a situation, ladies and gentlemen, it becomes imperative that you keep constantly innovating. Constantly keep innovating to provide that edge against your competition and stay profitable in the market. And now, it is technology that plays a very, very crucial role in ensuring that your projects, your products are delivered on time and you stay profitable. I will just move on to a few slides which I just wanted to share with you. The biggest of opportunities in this world, and even the biggest of the challenges, right? Both opportunities and challenges today are best solved with technology. And technology should be very fast, right? Lightning fast. It should be smart, and of course secure. You know, you might be hearing a lot about cloud, you know, hybrid cloud, public cloud, private cloud. But yes, we understand that it has to be secure. So we are summarizing that in 3 pieces. It should be smart. It should be lightning fast, and I mean that, and it should be secure. And today SAP, you know, SAP was traditionally classified as a business-to-business company, you know, B2B company. But today I would not hesitate to say that we are a business-to-consumer. The reason is, when we talk about technology, we are not talking about what does it mean for businesses like you. We are talking about what does it mean to your customers. Okay, that is where we at SAP, you know, we are helping some of the best run businesses in the world run better and make people's life better. And that is why we say that we are now a business to consumer industry. You know, when I see most of you know, you folks out here, I'm very much sure that you have loads of years of experience. You know, if I have to take back technology 10 years back, I'll not go too back because even I didn't exist at that time, but 10 years behind, technology was spreadsheets everywhere. Then technology moved on to accounting systems, right? And then technology moved out to a stage called ERP, which most of you all might be there. But gentlemen and ladies, today the world is not just about ERP. You know, today the world is how are you utilizing this ERP? Now ERP for many of you all here is a data storage, right? A piece of information interchange is what we call. This piece of information now is very obsolete, you know, if it is just lying in those black boxes. Today you need to leverage construction companies, you need mobility, right? Because your personals are there on the field. You know, people out there sitting in the corporate offices need to know what's happening on the field, and that is why you need mobile technology. You need social. Once you sell your projects into the market, what are consumers talking about you? What is their perception about the quality of homes that you're building? What is the feedback out there? Is it good? What are your sentiments? How is your brand out there in the market? Are you better than your competition? A customer will give you true data, right? So that is what we talk about social. And the next big piece is analytics. You have loads of data, but are you able to make sense out of the data? Are you able to make sense and take decisions, and most importantly, timely decisions? That's all about analytics. And then finally, you come to cloud. Okay. Now, cloud. When I first got into this technology space, I asked somebody, "What is cloud?" This is the best analogy that I keep giving to everybody. That if you want power in your house, you don't set up an electricity grid at your home, right? You subscribe to power from the government, or even private players are getting into that. Cloud is something like is the same concept. You don't definitely want large data storage servers sitting at the back end of your office. You put up a huge team to manage that. Leave it to experts. That's the arena of cloud. Information everywhere, anywhere is this concept. So today we are into the era of SMAC is what we call. Recently we did this McKinsey study in 2013. It says that more than 60% of CEOs expect anywhere between 15 to 50% of their earnings growth in the next 5 years to come from technology-enabled business innovations. Let me say something about this word, technology-enabled business innovations. Nowadays, whenever you're building up a product or a project, you have the best of the minds within your organizations. But if you don't deploy technology in the right manner, it will be disastrous, right? So that is why we say technology-enabled decisions. This is the situation what we have today, okay? That we ensure that 72% of our time we spend in keeping the lights on, and we spend only 28% in driving business innovation. Why is this happening? That you spend a lot of time and just ensuring that your business is running as usual, and you focus only on, say, 28% on business innovation. Any answer here? I hope I'm making sense. Anybody? Just a wild guess? Sorry. Lack of knowledge. Good. Anything else which comes up? Lack of innovation. Okay. Basically, lack of ideas. Yeah. Okay. Lack of intent. Would a business owner have a lack of intent to do innovation? Exactly. I got you there. Exactly. That is what it is. That is what gentleman just mentioned, that he's caught up in his own set of things. And what is own set of things? Is that, Mr. IT head, I invested X amount of dollars in getting up this ERP license. You better put that to work, right? And he spends days and days and days in getting this in place. And it's very obvious that he doesn't have any time left to actually do that innovation. And that is where we are now moving, okay? That we move this part of driving business innovation to the max, and we ensure that all that requires to keep your business going, is minimal. Okay. There we talk about consumption, user experience, IT environment. Very quickly, IT environment is what we ensure that it's a cloud-based platform, that you don't spend on putting up things into place. When Mangesh will discuss more about what we have something called an RDS offerings. SAP has that myth that it is only for the largest of the companies. If I buy SAP, it will take me years to execute, but trust me that with offerings like RDS and cloud offerings, you can be up and running in as short as 12 weeks, right? And that is the power of cloud, of RDS. User experience, gone are those days where SAP used to look like that dud blue screen. How many of you have seen SAP screens here? Okay, so you will be knowing the pain of that, right? It's plain, it's dud, and you don't know what to do with it, right? So SAP has come a long way with its product innovation. And if you're following SAP, in the recent Sapphire Orlando, we announced that a product of ours called SAP Fiori, which is nothing but the next gen personas, is completely free now. We are not charging it for any of our customers. We ensure that our customers should have the best UI experience so that the end users in your company don't spend too much of time and get hassled away with some complex UI screens. This is completely shipped free of cost along with your ERP. And the last thing we talked about is consumption. So what does it mean? You have things in your place, right? It's a very good UI experience. Your people like that, and now it is ready to go live. And what do you do with the rest of the time? Yes, you focus on innovation. And that is what we help you to do. That is what we help your customer run their businesses better. So this is what I was talking about, systems now, what can it help you do? There is so much of structured data, there is replication, there is overlap, and there is single processor memories, right? And your business, if I come over, most of the decisions are by gut. It still holds a lot of value. Even I take my decisions by gut. I don't look too much into my reports. But you can't run a business solely on gut, right? There is so many other complexities that are involved. And that is what we are helping with technology, that it becomes more structured, more responsive, more real time. Data and insights not driven by gut, but by data, right? So that is the world in which we are going to go. And very quickly, I will not take much time, and I will give you this entire portfolio of SAP, what we offer, okay? As I told you, the era is in SMAC, okay? Again, this is not just because I'm standing here and I want to sell my company's products to you. It's not that, you just read any of the Gartner reports, any of the leading research analysts. The world is moving towards SMAC. Gone are the days of ERP. ERP is now obsolete. It's believed that you need to have ERP to run your systems, but the world is moving a step ahead towards SMAC, okay? And this is what we talk about the SAP suite. When we talk about SAP suites, we are a world leader in ERP. We started that late back in 1972, and it has been 40 years of innovation, okay? When somebody tries to, I keep repeating this with any of my customers that I've been. SAP is not just giving an ERP. SAP is giving its 40 years of experience, which knows how some of the best run businesses actually run their shows out there. Big companies, small companies, I know the scale differs, but the processes underlying them remain the same, okay? Basic processes remain the same. And what we are giving you, as an experience or as a value-added service is those best practices. We are just not selling an ERP to you. We are not selling that black box which will help you integrate your departments, ensure that there is a seamless movement of data, ensure that you comply by each and every law of the government. It's not that. It's much more beyond that. What we have done actually, if I have to explain that to you, is with our 40 years of industry experience, we have built our ERP, and on top of that, what have our customers innovated along these 40 years? If I have to talk about EC&O industry, we have 3,100 customers as of today globally running on SAP, only from EC&O industry, right? So we have seen what are the typical challenges faced by these industries and how a particular EC&O industry should function out there. And we have templatized it, and we provide it on top of our ERP. That is what we call as best practices, okay? Which means that you need not reinvent the wheel. You plug in some of the best practices and just get running there. And that is what we talk about SAP Business All-in-One. And of course, we have our analytics, which I talked about, that you need to have data-driven insights. And then we have SAP HANA platform, which ensures that you get information real time at lightning speed, okay? If you're sitting on a piece of data and when you need to take a decision on the field, and if your report comes after a week, that's as good as a report which was never required. You need to take decisions on the field. At times, it might feel that, man, this is something which is like 10 years down the line, but we'll be deeply mistaken if we think like that. The world is moving into all this. It's real time. It is going to count. Recently, I don't want to name that customer. There was a project delay where one of his residential apartments got delayed by almost a year. That is something which folks out here will definitely agree that it happens. For n number of reasons that happens. That customer was actually not. He was definitely worried about those customers who had actually signed a deal with him and whom he had to hand over. His actual problem was, what are these customers talking about me in the market? Will it spoil my reputation when I'm launching my next project out there? You know why? You will not even be aware but your customers are talking good and bad about you out there on social media. And if you're not listening to them, I think it's criminal. It's criminal in today's world that not listening to your customers. It is going to have its own repercussions. And that is where we say that it is very critical to have information real time. So what's the business outcome? What are we trying to achieve? We can summarize this in 4 things. 1, customer experience. 2nd, employee engagement, resource optimization, and a networked economy. Right? These are the 4 business outcomes that you expect when you deploy technology, any piece of technology, not just SAP, but any piece of technology, you want answer to these 4 problems, and this is what we are trying to achieve out of technology or piece of technology like SAP. So I'll leave it with these questions, that any of these questions, if you feel that you don't have good answers to these questions, we can very confidently say that we are doing it the older way. Okay. With this, I will leave you with Mangesh, who is going to talk more about how Highbar and SAP have collaborated and are helping many of the EC&O companies out there to run better. Before that, I would like to show you a small piece of video which gives you a very comprehensive view of what is that we are doing in the EC&O sector with SAP. A very short video which will give you a very crisp overview of what is that we are trying to say and what will Mangesh cover in his overcoming presentations. Thank you once again for your time. We'll have a great evening.
Large-scale construction projects are inherently complex, but these days there's even more pressure on engineering, construction, and operations firms. Best-run EC&O companies are taking advantage of SAP technology and solutions to bridge the gap between the design blueprint and construction realities. This gives them access to real-time information across the entire budgeting process for smarter decision-making. SAP's big data solutions can integrate vast amounts of transaction data and help improve project-level profitability by obtaining real-time insights. Analytics software helps EC&O companies categorize and analyze data based on predefined criteria to quickly identify areas that need additional investigation. It also supplies comprehensive business intelligence across the project lifecycle while enabling connectivity to any data source. Mobile solutions from SAP offer better communication, workflow, and on-site procurement. This can improve performance, allowing engineers, project managers, and subcontractors in the field to access project data in real time. Cloud applications are ideal for mission-critical back-end functions such as payroll and HR management, as well as on-site collaboration with access to cost estimating, project planning, and control. SAP has worked with EC&O customers for over 40 years. Our solution portfolio offers business profitability and growth, leveraging an integrated enterprise to increase productivity, mitigate risk, and deliver full construction lifecycle services.